Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine, just for a second, a hidden, technologically advanced civilization thriving right beneath our feet.
Hmm.
And the keyhole, maybe, the entrance to this secret world, could be these ancient caves in Kashmir, the Kalaroos Caves.
Right.
So tonight we're doing a deep dive into, well, the pretty captivating conspiracy theory surrounding them.
Yeah, and what's really fascinating here, I think, is how it all weaves together. You've got actual archaeological finds, real objects.
Okay.
Then these local stories passed down for who knows how long, and layered on top is just this basic human fascination with the unknown, with secrets.
Definitely.
So our mission, if you like, in this deep dive is to try and navigate all that, sort of separate out the known facts from the speculation, the imagination.
And maybe understand why these ideas take hold so strongly.
Exactly. Why they resonate.
Okay, so where do we start? The caves themselves, I guess. They're not just, simple holes in the ground.
Oh, not at all. Physically, we're talking about these interconnected rock-cut structures.
Yeah.
They're in the Kupwara district of Jammu and Kashmir.
And that location's important. Right, near the line of control.
Very important. It's remote, steeped in history, and yeah, it's a sensitive area. Geopolitically significant. Adds another layer, really.
Right, a place where the past feels very present. Structurally, what are they like inside?
Well, think chambers, tunnels.
Yeah.
All carved into the natural rock. Some bits are quite accessible, apparently, but other parts, you might be crawling through narrow passages. And crucially, we just don't know the full extent, how far back they really go.
Why not? Is it just too difficult?
Partly the terrain, yes. It's challenging. And also, the security situation in a border area like that means exploration isn't always straightforward or even possible.
Got it. So this mysterious, partly mapped out network exists. What have archaeologists actually tangibly found there?
Well, the work's been limited, but surveys and some small digs have turned up real links to the past. Things like pottery shards.
Okay, standard stuff for ancient sites.
Pretty standard, yeah. Stone tools, some metal ones too, and bits of structures. All suggesting people used these caves for a long time. Shelter, storage, maybe rituals.
Any idea who or when?
There are interesting connections. Some artifact styles seem to link back to the ancient Gondora civilization.
Oh, right. That was a major power in the region.
Exactly. And also finds pointing towards later Buddhist periods. So clearly a long history of human activity.
Okay, so we have solid evidence of ancient people using the caves. But the local stories, that's where it gets really interesting, isn't it? It's not just about old potsherds.
Precisely. The local folklore around Kalaroos is incredibly rich. And you see this theme globally, actually, in legends about caves.
What theme is that?
These incredibly long, hidden tunnels. And Kalaroos is no exception. The stories talk about passages stretching just vast distances.
Like how vast?
I mean, really vast. Some tales claim they go as far as Russia or, other parts of Central Asia.
Wow, okay. That's quite a tunnel. And there's more to it than just long passages.
Oh yeah. You get stories linking the caves to mythical beings or ancient kings using them as secret routes. Escape passages, maybe, or places to hide treasure. Standard folklore motifs, really. But the real linchpin for the conspiracy theory that I think it really pivots on is this strong local belief in one specific sealed-off tunnel within the complex.
Ah, the secret tunnel sounds very adventurous. What's the deal with that?
Well, this secret tunnel, or sometimes they call it the closed passage, isn't believed to just lead to another chamber.
No.
The story goes it leads somewhere much more significant, a hidden subterranean city maybe, or some other really important secret location.
And it's blocked.
Supposedly, yeah. Local accounts differ on why. Maybe a natural rockfall, maybe it was deliberately concealed somehow. And right there, that's the seed of the modern conspiracy theory.
Okay, right. So let's piece this together. We have these genuinely intriguing ancient caves, only partially explored, in a remote, historically layered location. Plus, you've got centuries of local stories swirling around them, including this really tantalizing idea of a sealed tunnel leading somewhere amazing.
Exactly.
So how does all that brew up into a theory about a hidden, advanced civilization living down there? Where does that leap come from?
Well, the genesis is kind of multifaceted,
Yeah.
First, just the enigmatic nature of the caves themselves. They're old, they're not fully understood, they're in this evocative place that naturally sparks curiosity. The unknown invites us to fill in the gaps.
Absolutely. Human nature, right. We want answers.
We do. And then you have that pre-existing local folklore. The stories of vast tunnels provide a kind of ready-made structure, a foundation.
Something to build on.
Exactly. These legends can get amplified over time, maybe merged with other ideas.
And we can't ignore the pull of the whole lost civilization idea, can we? Hidden worlds. It's a recurring theme everywhere.
It really is. It's deep in our mythology, our fiction. We seem inherently drawn to the idea that there's something extraordinary hidden just out of sight beneath the surface of the everyday. Then layer on the geopolitical context. Kalaroos is in a sensitive border zone.
Right.
And in places where information might be restricted, or where there's a history of conflict, or just, government presence, conspiracy theories often find fertile ground. Military activity, for instance, can easily be interpreted conspiratorially.
Yeah, secrecy breeds suspicion, and then, of course, there's the internet.
Oh, absolutely crucial. The internet acts as this massive amplifier, spreading interpretations, supposed evidence, narratives.
Often with zero fact-checking.
Things can go viral really fast.
Incredibly fast. Digital platforms allow these theories to reach huge audiences, and online communities form around them, sharing and elaborating, building on the core ideas.
Okay, so let's zero in on those core ideas. What are people who believe this actually saying exists down there beneath Kalaroos? What are the main points?
Right. The central belief is in this huge interconnected network, way beyond anything officially explored or mapped.
Not just a few extra caves. No. Think a sprawling subterranean world, and potentially housing a whole civilization. Thriving, advanced, maybe descendants of some ancient race or, something that evolved separately down there.
And advanced means what exactly? We're not just talking about, good plumbing.
Definitely not. The theories often speculate about technology far beyond what we have now.
Such as?
Things like super advanced transport systems within these tunnels, unique energy sources, maybe a sophisticated communication we wouldn't even recognize, even wilder ideas like, technology for extreme longevity or manipulating consciousness.
Wow, okay. Which brings us back to that secret tunnel. That's the gateway in this view.
That's exactly it. The sealed tunnel is seen as the crucial entry point, the doorway to this hidden realm.
And why is it blocked? Theories vary.
Yeah, they do. As we said, maybe it's natural causes, a cave-in. Or maybe the inhabitants sealed it themselves to stay hidden. Or, and this is key for the conspiracy part, maybe governments know about it and are deliberately keeping it blocked, keeping it secret.
Right. And these Kalaroos-specific beliefs, they don't just exist on their own, do they? People try to connect them to other myths.
Absolutely. Proponents are often quick to draw parallels. They'll look at the Kalaroos legends and then point to similar myths of underground realms from all over the world.
Like what?
Well, they might mention things from ancient Indian epics, or folklore from Central Asia, even Western esoteric traditions, ideas of hidden knowledge, secret masters, concepts like Agartha or Shambhala sometimes get pulled in.
The Hollow Earth type ideas?
Exactly. The argument being made is that these aren't just separate stories, but echoes of some shared, forgotten truth about a real subterranean world.
And the idea of a government cover-up, that feels like a standard feature in a lot of these theories.
It's a very common trope, yes. For Kalaroos, the belief is that governments, maybe military, powerful groups, they know what's down there.
And they're hiding it.
They're actively suppressing finds, they're restricting access, using the border security as an excuse, and they're maybe discrediting anyone who tries to talk about it.
Why? What's the supposed motive?
Usually speculated to be things like, national security, obviously, or wanting to control potentially world-changing, maybe dangerous technology, or maybe even wanting to control the official story of human history, prevent a paradigm shift.
Okay. And the inhabitants themselves, who or what are they supposed to be?
That varies a lot, too. Some theories imagine sort of human-like descendants, maybe survivors of some ancient cataclysm who went underground.
Right.
Others get more exotic. A completely different species, maybe non-human or even interdimensional beings who've been down there for millennia.
Interdimensional, wow.
Yeah, and sometimes you even see links being made to UFOs. The idea that maybe UFOs aren't extraterrestrial, but advanced craft coming from within the Earth, from this hidden civilization.
It's quite a leap. And their intentions, why stay hidden if they're so advanced?
Again, different ideas. Maybe they're peaceful, just want to be left alone, avoid us messing things up. Or maybe they are interacting, but subtly, monitoring us, perhaps influencing events behind the scenes. And the fact that we don't see them, that lack of obvious contact, that's often flipped into more proof.
How so?
Well, it just shows how advanced their cloaking or concealment technology must be, right?
Okay. Got it. So we've laid out the core beliefs. Now, what about the evidence? And I'm using air quotes there. What do proponents actually point to?
Yeah, evidence is definitely the right word to handle carefully. It's mostly about interpretation, about connecting dots that might not actually be connected.
For example?
For example, the simple fact that the entire Kalaroos cave system hasn't been explored, that lack of full exploration is often presented as positive evidence that there must be a much larger hidden network. The unknown becomes proof of the suspected.
So the absence of complete data is spun into confirmation.
In a way, yes.
Oh.
Or, any slightly unusual rock formations, things that geologists would explain naturally might be pointed to as potentially artificial structures.
Yeah.
Evidence of ancient building?
Without scientific backing for that interpretation, though.
Generally, no. And the local legends we talked about, they're often treated not just as folklore, but as distorted historical accounts. Real memories of this subterranean world, just warped over time.
And those similarities with global myths, Agartha, Shambhala, Native American legends about underground people.
Exactly. Those parallels are presented as strong evidence. See, everyone knew about this once. It's proof of a shared forgotten history or direct knowledge of these places.
Okay, what else?
Sometimes, unrelated archaeological finds from the wider region might get sort of pulled into the narrative, presented as proof of some mysteriously advanced ancient civilization that must be linked to Kalaroos.
Even if there's no direct connection.
Right. And, of course, the restricted access we mentioned, the military presence, any limits on where people can go near the border, that's frequently interpreted as direct proof of a cover-up in action.
They must be hiding something.
That's the logic, yes. And finally, like many conspiracy theories, you get personal anecdotes. Unverified stories from locals about strange lights, weird sounds, unusual encounters near the caves. These circulate as additional evidence, even though they can't be independently confirmed.
It really is fascinating how all these different threads, ambiguity, folklore, suspicion, unrelated facts get woven together into this narrative.
It is.
But why? Why does this specific kind of story, the hidden world, the advanced underground race, have such a powerful grip on our imagination? What's going on psychologically or culturally?
I think fundamentally it taps into some really basic human drives. Our innate curiosity. For one, we want to know what's hidden, what's over the horizon, or in this case, under the ground. The unknown is compelling.
And maybe a bit of distrust of authority, skepticism about the official story.
Oh, definitely. That's a huge factor. The feeling that maybe we're not being told everything, that there are secrets being kept. These theories offer an alternative narrative that feels empowering to those who believe it.
And maybe in a world that often feels complex and chaotic, these theories offer simplicity. A grand hidden explanation makes things seem less random.
That's a really crucial point, I think. They can provide a sense of order, a framework that seems to explain things that are otherwise puzzling or frightening, finding patterns, even where they might not exist. Plus, there's a social element. Believing in these things, especially online, can create a sense of community, belonging among people who share this special knowledge.
Right, and the sheer romance of it. Lost civilizations, advanced beings. It's just cool, isn't it?
It absolutely is. There's a deep romanticism attached to the idea of sophisticated cultures vanishing or existing just beyond our reach. And the allure of forbidden knowledge, the feeling that you possess information that they don't want you to have, that's powerful too.
Okay, so it's intriguing, taps into deep human needs. But we do need to touch on the downsides, right? Conspiracy theories aren't harmless fun.
No, it's really crucial to acknowledge that. Misinformation is a serious problem. These kinds of theories can erode trust in actual experts in science, in reliable news sources.
Yeah, that's a big one.
And they can be incredibly divisive. They can fuel social polarization, pitting groups against each other based on wildly different views of reality.
And sometimes it goes beyond just arguing online.
In extreme cases, yes. Belief in certain conspiracy theories has unfortunately led to real-world harm, to harmful actions. And even short of that, focusing energy and attention on unsubstantiated claims can distract us as a society from tackling actual pressing problems that need evidence-based solutions.
That's a very sobering but important perspective. Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive on the Kalaroos conspiracy, what are the main takeaways for our listeners?
Well, I think it's clear it's this really fascinating mix, isn't it? You've got genuine local history and folklore, the real mystery of an incompletely explored ancient site, all tangled up with, vivid human imagination and maybe some modern anxieties.
But crucially, no actual scientific evidence for that hidden advanced civilization.
Right. There's no credible, verifiable evidence supporting the core claims of a vast subterranean world beneath Kalaroos inhabited by advanced beings. What we do have are intriguing caves with a documented history of ancient human use.
So the Kalaroos Caves themselves are interesting enough without the added layer of conspiracy.
Absolutely. They're a potentially significant archaeological site with stories still to tell. The conspiracy theory, though, maybe it tells us more about us, about our enduring fascination with the unknown, the allure of secrets, and the incredible power of storytelling.
A testament to imagination, maybe?
Indeed. And it really highlights that need for balance, doesn't it? Between embracing wonder, being open to mystery.
In applying critical thinking, grounding ourselves in what can actually be verified.
Precisely. Appreciating the allure, but sticking to the evidence.
So maybe a final thought for you listening. Are there still genuinely undiscovered parts of our world, hidden corners or unplumbed depths that continue to fuel these kinds of captivating stories? And what does our collective fascination with these hidden worlds really tell us about our own hopes, fears, and our place in the universe? Something to ponder, perhaps.